In Tableau, parameters and calculations are both powerful features, but they serve very different purposes. Parameters allow users to dynamically change aspects of their visualizations, such as filtering data, adjusting thresholds, or switching between different measures or dimensions. Parameters act like placeholders for values that users can modify interactively. They're particularly useful for creating dynamic user-driven dashboards. I'll show you an example of that in a second. And for calculations in Tableau involve creating new fields or modifying existing fields based on expressions or formulas. These calculations can be simple arithmetic operations or complex logical conditions, aggregations, or even table calculations. Let's take a look at some examples to see how they're used within Tableau. So I already have a dashboard created here where I can, these are two different parameters that I have on my sheet. I can go ahead and pick city or region, and it'll change my visualization based on my selection. And same goes for my measure as well. I can switch between profit and sales, and the same thing with dimensions. So how did we do this? First, I went ahead and created a new parameter, two new parameters, one for measure and one for the dimension. And if I click edit, I'll show you what I did here. Named it metric parm, data type is string, and I chose two values, sales and profit. And obviously I wanted this to be fixed, and I do want a list. And upon opening, when the workbook opens up, I want the sales to be the default value. And I did the same thing for dimensions, and it selected region as the default value. I have two values here in my list, city and region, and this again is a string and is fixed. So by itself, this won't do anything to the visualization. However, paired with a calculation, this turns into a powerful dynamic dashboard, as you can see here. So what I ended up doing was I went to calculations. I created two calculations, as you can see, one here and the other one is down here. Select metric. So we'll start with the metric first. Right click here, click edit, and I used a case when statement. So I referenced my parameter and I said when the value of the parameter is selected as sales, show the sales metric, and when it's selected as profit, then select the profit metric to show. And then we'll go ahead and take a look at the dimension selector. I'm using the same thing here. I'm using case when in the parameter dim parm, if city is selected, I'm showing the city dimension, and when region is selected, I'm showing the region dimension. And you know, like I said, they're used for very different purposes. And this is just one example of how calculated fields can be used. There are many other, aggregation types and other formulas that you can apply on top of calculations to make your dashboards dynamic. Hopefully this was helpful. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.